Hello, welcome to this new mini-series on percentages. And this series is aimed at Key Stage 3 students and some GCSE students who will be covering these topics as part of their courses, but also for general interest or general people who will, as percentages, come up in everyday life, whether that's in VAT, interest rates, or a current very popular topic is inflation. So in this three-part series, in part one, I'm going to be looking at what a percentage is, what percentage increases, and what percentage decreases. And then in the following parts, I will look at how VAT is calculated and how percentages are used in VAT, so it'll be a real-life example. And in the final part of the series, I will look at inflation and interest rates and how percentages are used in those applications. So let's start off with what a percentage is. So let's start off by looking at the actual word. We have per and cent in the actual title, so per cent. And you also have the symbol of a diagonal with two circles on it. So let's say we started off with a value of 10%. What does this actually mean? Well, we can write the 10, that stays where it is. Per means divide, so if we put a divide in, and cent means 100. So 10% literally means 10 divided by 100. And if you look at the symbol of a percentage sign, you can see that the diagonal looks like the division sign, and the two circles are the two zeros from the 100. And some people also say that the line that goes through the middle looks like the 1, so this is what the percentage actually means. So this means 10 over 100. So as you can see, that this is actually a fraction, and we can simplify this down. We can divide both the numerator and the denominator by 10. So it's 1 over 10, or a tenth. We can also divide 10 by 100, or 1 by 10, because they're the same thing, and express a percentage as a decimal, in which case this is equal to 0.01. So a percentage is just a way of expression, either a fraction, where the denominator is 100, which can then be simplified down into other fractions, or as a decimal, because it literally means whatever number you're taking a percentage of. So if you have like 17.5%, which was the old VAT rate in the UK, that means 17.5 divided by 100, which in decimal is 0.175. So this is what it means by percentage. So let's say you had an example where you were asked to find 5% of, let's say, 20. And let's make it into a real world example, 5% of £20. So we can actually literally break this down as what the sentence says. So we have 5%, which means divided by 100, of means times 20. So we can now work this out. So this is, we can do some cancellation here. So 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 100 20 times. So this is the same as saying 20 over 20, which is equal to £1, because these will both cancel to give 1. So 20 divided by 20 is 1, 20 divided by 20 is 1, that's 1 over 1, 1 divided by 1 is 1, and we put the units back in of the pound. So that's how you can find a percentage of a number. Now let's have a look at percentage increase and decrease. So let's say you had the number 45 and it increased to 50. And you were asked to find what the percentage increase is. So what you do for this is you have to find out what the increase is in real terms. So you take your number, which is 50, you divide it by the 45, sorry, you minus the 45, which is equal to 5. So this is the difference, and then you put it over the original number, which is what you started with. So you're looking at it from the relative terms of that. So you have 45, or 5 over 45. So this is the fraction. And to turn it into a percentage, we just multiply by 100. So we could simplify this down again. 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 45 9 times, so that's 1/9 times 100. Or we can just do it on a calculator to get a more precise answer. So we've got 5 divided by 45 times 100, so that would work out as 11.11 recurring, and we put the percentage sign in to show we've turned it into a percentage. So this is how you can find the percentage increase. And bear this number in mind, because what happens if we're asked to find the percentage decrease? Let's say this time we had 50 and we decreased to 45. We carry out exactly the same steps. We find the difference, which is 5. We divide it by our original number, which in this case is 50. And we multiply it by 100. So again, this is a bit easier to do. So it's 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 50 10 times. This will cancel there, and therefore we end up with 10% decrease. So if you notice, even going between these two numbers, when we increase, and the percentage increase is actually larger than the percentage decrease when you look at it in terms of percentages, even though it's the same number, the same absolute number change. So it's something very important to bear in mind while calculating percentages. Are we looking at an increase or a decrease? And how does numbers change? If you were told what a percentage increase was, and you're trying to find what number it goes up to, you can just rearrange this to this, and we'll be doing that more in future videos. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and I look forward to seeing you next week when we cover more on percentages.